fellow sports fanatics. Welcome back to the Sports Fanatic Podcast. I am your host, Skylar, the Sports Fanatic. And here we are in the weird space, in this weird atmosphere as a sports fan, where we look around us and there's not as many sports as there used to be. You know, the NBA season wrapped up, the NHL season wrapped up. We're in the heat of baseball season. However, football season just that much further away. And it's a bizarre time for us sports fans as we're trying to find our way till all of our sports are back. I mean, baseball can only hold you over so much. Which is why today on the show, we will obviously dive again into the Ocho Corner, which, discovering the Ocho, I think has saved me in this time of puzzling thoughts without all of our major sports. I know the drafts just happened. We'll touch a little bit on those later on. But to start the show, we're going to talk Phillies, as we always do. Later on, we'll tap into some other news and some other stuff. But today, let's dive right in with our Phillies, where we left off when we were recording last week. We were in the middle of losing to the Mets. Yay. While I was in the middle of editing. Following day, we get a bounce-back victory. Things are feeling good, you know? Feeling good again. We series win against the Mets, 2-1. That's awesome. That was exactly what we needed to try to get ahead of them. But then we traveled to Houston and you know what? I don't even want to say that we traveled to Houston. Some form of Phillies traveled to Houston, but it sure wasn't our Phillies. Sure wasn't. I don't know who went out there to play baseball in Houston, but it was not our Phillies, as we get swept by the Astros. Brooms came out, and they swept us right out of there. Not even in dominating fashion either, but we'll dive into each one in a minute here. Then last night, hey, we come back, around here to, we travel on up to Atlanta, and all of a sudden, we're beating up teams again. We're beating up the Braves as we hand them a brutal 13-0 loss. I'm going to dive in a little bit. Each game, as I said, the day that I was uploading this episode, the day I was editing, all that, the next day that I uploaded the episode on a Sunday. So we beat the Mets. We got a 7-1 win. Beautiful job. Jesus Luzardo comes out, and he starts to look again like Jesus Luzardo. Now, this team, I have cried, which I will cry a lot. Consistency, guys. Consistency. Where is it? It's just not there with this team. That's why I'm so scared of which team we're going to see when the playoffs get here. We're going to be there. We're going to be in the midst of the playoffs. It would be really good if we could hold on. And, I know we keep battling the Mets for division lead. If we could hold on to that division lead and make teams come through the bank, man, like I've said before on this show, it's going to be such a harder journey for teams to come through the bank. So we got to hold on to that. But we'll be there no matter what. But I'm afraid of what version of the team we're going to get. If we get this team that traveled to Houston, just save the excitement. Just enjoy the ride of the regular season and get ready for a disappointment in the postseason again. Because if that's the version we get, I mean, I know Bryce Harper's not back yet. So let's see what happens when Bryce comes back. Obviously maybe things change there. But with this Mets one, though, Jesus Luzardo, he comes back looking like himself again. He goes 6.5. He only gives up 3 hits. No runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. He looks like himself again. He looks like the old Jesus Luzardo that we saw for those, first stretch of games before he started just giving up run after run and home run and starting to feel like Aaron Nola. Not prime Aaron Nola, this season Aaron Nola, and that's not a very good Aaron Nola to look like. But, Strom, Lazar, Romano, they come in, they finish the job, and that's exactly what's needed. The bullpen coming in, getting the job done, and we beat the Mets in a series win, 2-1. This one was a 7-1 win to end it, and you're feeling good, right? Like, we're feeling good. We're feeling confident then. But then we roll to Houston, and I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens. Nobody shows up to hit the pitching. Ranger Suarez, stud, goes 7 innings, gives up 4 hits, makes that one devastating mistake. Just one devastating mistake. In the 8th inning, home run, and that's all it took. That's all it took. One home run in the 8th inning is all it took to beat us. And we get a 1-0 loss. I'm shocked. Like, I don't know, where are the bats? Where did they go on this one? Like, where? I don't think we took any bats to Houston. I don't think we did. I think we left them all at home. Next day we go in, same thing again. First inning, looking awful. It's not looking good. Everybody's getting hits. Everybody's starting to put it on wheels. And I'm like, whoa. This is not wheels. This is not wheels. Gives up 1 run in the first inning. And it was looking devastating. It was not looking very good at all. It was not. I'm sorry. Let's back that train up a little bit. Beep, beep. He did not give up any of those runs. I was thinking of the inning. He got the bases loaded. He gets out of the jam. Okay? And then Wheels goes on and does Wheels things. He looks like the Zach Wheeler we know and love. He goes 6 innings. He gets 8 strikeouts. Like I said, that first inning was just a bouncy, scary inning, but he gets out of it. But then Strom comes in, and he blows it. And I've said this on the show. I love Matt Strom, but I don't know what's wrong with him lately. I don't know. He's not the same Matt Strom from a couple of years ago. I don't know what he needs to do to get right. I love his passion. I said that before. I love his fire. I love him arguing with himself and being upset with himself and wanting to be better. But he's got to actually go out there and be better. He's got to be. So this one's a disappointing loss. 2-0. And you're at this point, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. We've gone, you got to stop and scratch your head. We've gone, what, 19 innings without scoring a run? And as a Phillies fan, you're like, what? The Phillies. 19 innings without scoring a run. Then we come into the next game with the Astros. And it's looking, honestly, just as bleak. I mean, the team's getting some hits, but it's looking just as bleak. Christopher Sanchez comes out, and I'll tell you what, Christopher Sanchez does Christopher Sanchez things. He's getting the ground ball outs. He gets 11 strikeouts in this one. What a performance. He gets 11 Ks. Unfortunately, he gives up one, just one. But again, the Phillies go 25 innings without scoring a run before finally Bryson Stott breaks through by getting on base after a walk, and then Brandon Marsh, he gets the sac fly. We finally score a run, and it's feeling like, all right, are we over the hump? No, we're not. We're not living up to the hype. They get one more run to just absolutely put the nail in the coffin, and that ends it. 2-1, we're swept out. And at this point, it's like, well, this is starting to show me that I don't know if we can beat the good teams like I thought we could. I mean, there was a point there where there was fight back in this team. But this, I mean, they're not even like big victories by other teams over us. So it's not like, you know, I'll get to the bullpen here in a minute and the starters, but where did the bats go? Hello? Where did everybody go? We just take a vacation while we were in Houston and send out, I don't know, a bunch of fans wearing Phillies uniforms to play the game. And we travel up to Atlanta, and it's a completely different Phillies team. We score in the first 3 innings. The first 3 innings. Everybody comes. Everybody starts hitting. JT walks. Kepler gets to second. Schwarber gets to third. Trey Turner scores. Trey Turner homers. Castellanos gets in on the fun with a homer. Our boy Nick getting in on the fun. Kemp gets his first homer. Our boy Otto finally getting that homer on the board. And you know what? The boys just come out and start smoking it. Schwarber homers. Trey homers again. The boys come out and light up the Braves. 13-0. And we cry consistency. Hammering it home like consistency. Where was this team in Houston? Must have gone down and taken a vacation in Houston. Went and saw some sights. Maybe hung out in some nice luxurious hotels. Sent who knows out there to play. But come up to Atlanta and they decide, well, we got to beat up on this team so that we can maintain where we are in the division. And it's been what a stretch. What a stretch. And I'm gonna go through this real quick because I just went through game by game. You heard the pitchers. So my Phillies of the week, not just one, my Phillies of the week, we're gonna dive in, are the starters, the starting bullpen, the starting rotation for the Phillies this week. Even though we got swept out by Houston, it was not really the starters' fault. At all. At all. Like I said, Ranger Suarez, all of them go at least 6 innings. All of them providing quality starts. The lowest ERA is a 1.5 of the week from Christopher Sanchez. All of them with at least 5+ strikeouts. What more can you ask? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what more you can ask for from the starters. But these guys aren't awarded with wins because there's no hitting. No hitting. All of these guys, Suarez, Luzardo, Wheeler, Sanchez, They all are the Phillies of the week because they showed up, but the bats didn't on the other side. I mean, you can't even be upset with the few runs that they gave up. The 2 runs they gave up. The Astros beat us by scoring 4 runs. That's total. That's not even one game. So, just a disgusting performance this week. Again, smoked the Braves yesterday. As I'm recording, as I will be editing, we'll be playing the Braves again tonight. I expect to see another 10+ run game. I expect it now. If that's what you're going to come out there and do against the Braves, I almost expect it every time we're going to play the Braves now. Honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest. I expect you to just go out there and whoop them. I know the Braves are mediocre, but whoop them. Tomorrow we're going to get the Braves again. And then this week, we are going to meet the Padres. Boy, that ought to be a fun series. We'll have to dive in a little bit into that one deep next week once we see what the results are going to look like. It's going to be a fun series. After that one, when we'll be talking next week, we're going to be playing the Cincinnati Reds. This is going to be a tough stretch. So I'm nervous. Guys, let me hear your thoughts too. Are you nervous? I'm nervous. I'm nervous for some of these games because the Phillies have proven that against good teams, there's no consistency. We're either up here or down here, and it's just no consistency. So I want to see where we go from here. We're holding on to a half-game lead over the Mets. Just a half game. We're a half game above them in the division. 48-34. They're 48-35. The Braves are right behind them, but they're 37-44. So that's why I say they're mediocre. I don't want to just. I did say that I expect to see 10+ runs, and I shouldn't. But after that performance, we better go out there and spank whoever is pitching next just to make sure the Braves know their place in this division. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys because we're going to just look real quick here at the other divisions. This is looking like, again, I think I mentioned this last week, this is going to be a really fun year. I mean, this is going to be a really fun. Some of these divisions are tight. The American League, I mean, the Tigers are absolutely dominating their division. At 51-32, the Guardians behind them at 40-40, and the Twins 40-42. I mean, the teams behind them are close. Tigers smoking the division, but every other division, I mean, it's a pretty close race here. Everybody is pretty tight. I mean, even the Dodgers 52-31. The Giants aren't too far behind at 45-37. So as the season winds down, obviously we got to get to the All-Star break. We'll see how everything goes. But I think that, as this season winds down, it's going to be a fun season. It really is. It's going to be a really fun end to the year to see where everybody stacks up, where everything goes. Harper, get back. Get back. As I mentioned before, I know he's not playing right now. I know he's working on the injury. They mentioned that he had a really good session again the other day, aiming for maybe next week. Got to get him back in here, get that elbow healthy, and hopefully bring some consistency back to this Phillies lineup. Maybe with him back in the middle there, everybody will get back to hitting consistent. So come on, Phillies. Come on. This has got to be. They mentioned this the other day, too. I saw this, too. We are halfway through Harper's big contract here in Philly. We're halfway through it now. It's time for the trophy. It's time, Bryce. It's time to bring home a World Series trophy to this team. I love that he loves the city. I love that he wears the gear. I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it until he hears it. And all of us Phillies fans need to keep shouting it at him until he gets the message and gets this team over the hump. It's time for a championship. The second best isn't good enough anymore. It's time to be number one. All right, our next topic today, the Ocho Corner. We're diving in. Last week, we had the super exciting sport of roof ball, and I really hope that you guys went out and watched some roof ball footage, found some roof ball clips, or posted a short of some of the roof ball. It is such a cool sport. Such a cool sport. But this week on the show, we're going to dive into the exciting sport. Well, sports of axe throwing and knife throwing. they kind of go hand in hand, I'll be honest with you. But, I mean, this is another sport where I'm watching the Ocho. You know, every time I walk in the house, from wherever I come from, first thing I almost do, just instinctively, when I'm getting ready to just kind of calm down and relax, is I throw on the Ocho. I just want to see what sport is on. I just want to see what I can watch. And throw it on. Sure enough, here's axe throwing. And I've gone axe throwing, you know, with my fiance as a fun little date activity. And I've gone axe throwing with some friends. And it's awesome. I think it's a fun, super fun thing to do. I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst. I didn't realize how much technique goes into it. But, wow. You watch these guys do it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stay over here on the casual boards. So, the main leagues here for the axe throwing are the WATL, or the World Axe Throwing League, and the IATF, which is the International Axe Throwing Federation. They kind of go hand in hand. The World Throwing League, that was founded in 2017. It aims to promote a competitive sport and connect enthusiasts around the world. So it's kind of more for like, you know, let's say beginners and, it's tough to say beginners and pros, but it's a mix of everybody. You know, you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta dip your toes in somewhere. The International Axe Throwing League was established in 2016. And it's more of a global governing body for the axe throwing leagues. They both promote fair competition, safety, you know, all that fun stuff. It does represent 20,000 league members from across multiple countries, 150 cities. I mean, it's all over the place. It's international, obviously. So the world axe throwing competition, I was just watching some footage of it, and again, awesome. It's so cool. I mean, if you haven't watched any like professional axe throwing before, and I don't just mean like you're watching clips on YouTube of fails, or you're watching people do it for fun, you got to watch these guys do it, especially on these stages. The stages they build, and the set to put everything on, and the lights, and it makes you feel like you're playing such a cool, electrifying sport. And I mean, honestly, you are. It takes such technique, and I'll have hopefully some pictures and some videos popping up here to get you guys an idea of what it looks like. I mean, it's awesome to see. The WATL, they host 4 seasonal leagues each year. So there's like, you know, season 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe the next season is coming up here soon. The last season just wrapped up June 15th, so that was just a couple of weeks ago. The next season is beginning shortly. That's going to begin on July 5th, and it runs through September 7th. Get in on watching. You can stream it on their YouTube. You can find them on Facebook. You find them on Instagram. You know, pretty much anywhere you can find stuff, you're going to find them. But additionally, find the Ocho, throw it on. Now, maybe that's not what's on that hour, but it'll be on. Honestly, it's on pretty frequently. Most times when I throw it on, maybe like midday, mid-evening, it's almost always on. But anyway, the Pro League, the WATL, it's the top 128 throwers based on their total season score earned with a Pro League status. So once you get like a Pro League status, then the games you compete in starts tallying you up. And then if you break into that list, you start to qualify for some of these big tournaments. And some of these huge, I mean, they have some huge events. They have an Open, a U.S. Open, a Canadian Open. They're all featured on the Ocho. Some of them are even on the, you know, bigger ESPN channels. The international one, it's kind of like the same thing, but it involves players from both both leagues, even if you don't play in one or the other. This one kind of incorporates both. The World League doesn't really incorporate too many from the International, but this one kind of incorporates both. And it's they're both just a great place. From what I mean, obviously from every video I hear, everybody talks about how great the community is and how much everybody cheers everybody on to see everybody get better. And again, I think this is an awesome sport. It's another one of those just awesome sports. You're throwing axes. Like, that's pretty sweet, dude. I mean, that's pretty sweet. So normally, we're going to go over the rules real quick. So normally each game has 1 to 2 judges. Kind of depends on the stage, the competition, where you're at. Most normally we'll have one judge who will eyeball where each axe landed. They'll use a little flashlight to get really specific if they need to. The lanes that they play in, each lane has a bunch of designated little boxes because of different sizes of axes. You can either throw hatchets or giant axes, which is pretty sweet. For a hatchet, you get a stem to the 12-inch line. Big axe, you throw it to 15-inch line. Each competitor gets 3 warm-up throws. So you want to warm up, you do it before you come to competition. You get three warm-ups, and then every game after you get 1 warm-up throw, and then it's game time, baby. Game time. We don't got time for that warm-up shit anymore. Each game is 10 throws, and obviously it's whoever scores the highest score goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, the rings in, out, the bullseye 6. They got 2 little blue dots. Those are called kill shots. Those are worth 8 points, but you have to call the shot before you hit it. So you can't just be hitting the blue dot all game long. You got to call it. And if you call it and hit it, you get those 8 points. Oftentimes, when I see one person call a kill shot, the other person typically calls it, because a lot of games, honestly, when you watch, I mean, I've seen maybe like 2 blowouts, maybe. I'm going to say maybe 2 blowout games. Other than that, honestly, a lot of these games are really close. I mean, these guys are hitting either 5s or bullseyes, like every throw. So the competition a lot of times is stiff. They have multiple different divisions, which is, I think, super cool. They got a men's division, they got a women's division, they got a mixed division, they got a duels division, they got just all kinds of different divisions, which I think is awesome. When you watch 2 people throw an axe, again, I'm gonna at the end of my coverage of this, I'm gonna throw up a highlight video. But when you watch 2 people throw, you're like, whoa. Especially because they land them with such precision while throwing 2 at a time. I'm like, if that was me and my fiance, you'd have to clear the building before we throw 2 at the same time, because they'd be bouncing all over the place. So, again, this is awesome. I was just watching the 2024 championships before I started recording my show. There's multiple things, multiple coverages on YouTube you can watch. Just multiple. You can go on their website. You can find, you can find different kits to buy your own axes. I'm buying my own axe here. You can buy your own axe, different axes to throw, your own axe kit if you want to start your own like federation somewhere. You want to, like start your own facility. If you have your own facility and you want to join the competition, the league, you get in touch with them. They got their own custom gear, their own custom stuff. I mean, guys, this is awesome. This is another awesome one. Most recent champion, we have here the 2024 amateur champion, Tommy Runkle. Throw his picture up here. Shout out to him. Amateur champion. Just, what a cool story, guys. Seriously. What a cool thing. I'm going to throw up a video. We're going to throw that up here real quick. We're going to get to know our axes and learn a little bit about the different styles of axes that they throw, because I just think it's really cool.
Pros don't throw any ordinary axes. They throw axes designed specifically for axe throwing. The World Axe Throwing League has detailed specifications for axes, which include a maximum blade length, a maximum overall weight, and a designated handle length range. Throwing axes are not meant for splitting, so the blades are very thin. This allows throwers to focus on precision, not power. In addition to having a thin blade profile, the axes must also be razor sharp, strong enough to be a utility or camping axe. Most throwers have straight handles on their axes. This means they can easily release the axe, allowing the throw to be replicated and perfected. All wattle axes have a unique design and advantage. Axes with a curved blade, like the Ace of Spades and the Bad Axe, make it easier for throwers to stick the axe to the board with its curved edge while still having 4 inches of coverage. These axes are perfect for throwers who are starting out or don't have a strong throw and prefer a lighter axe. Axes like the Corporal are heavy hitters. It has a unique fishhook design and added weight on the back of the axe head. That weight provides extra power to ensure the Corporal does not drop when it hits the board. The Butcher is Wattle's most popular and unique axe. It has a full 4 inches of coverage from blade to handle. Its square box-like design also makes the axe easy to land even on tough boards. As you can see, the axes used by the pros are unique to the sport. For more information, you can visit.
All right, that's about the axes and stuff. Again, I just think it's super cool to learn about, stuff like this. These bizarre sports and, the sports that aren't getting enough coverage. But thankfully, ESPN The Ocho came along and became real so that we could have these super cool and bizarre sports. Right here, I'm going to throw up a highlight video of just some of the different axe throwing, competitions, whether it's duos or whatever that. I'm just going to throw up a little video and let you guys see a little bit of highlights of axe throwing. All right. Again, come on. Let me hear you in the comments. Isn't it awesome? What a super cool sport. Just a super cool thing to watch. Whether it's knife throwing, it's axe throwing. The rules are kind of similar. The game is kind of similar. You're just throwing a different style of thing. I mean, what a sweet sport. A sweet sport. Seriously. Who would have thought, when you were first chopping stuff with an axe, that it was ever going to become what it's becoming now? You can win money, you can become, wealthy and live a comfortable life throwing axes. Pretty cool. Seriously, pretty cool. Next week on the Ocho Corner, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm going to mention it real quick. Next week's show is going to be a little bit different because I will be on location. My family is going on family vacation. We go to Chincoteague Island every year. We will be on our family vacation there. I will be recording an episode there. It may not be as long as my normal episodes are, but it's going to be something. So in the spirit of the beach and beachy things, we're going to do the really unique sport that I happened upon of crossnet. So it's going to be an exciting week next week on the Ocho Corner. Watch out for that. Please join me for that. Now we'll dive in. Just a little bit of other sports news. I know this past week we had the NBA Draft. We'll go through a couple of the picks real quick just because I think some of them are a little fascinating. Obviously, number one, we all knew, Cooper Flagg. He was going to the Mavericks. That was no surprise to anybody. Mavericks are looking a little scary. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you at all. Their potential starting lineup, their potential rotation of guys. Mavericks went from a joke to, oh, snap. Oh, snap. I don't think Mavericks fans are going to be as upset when they're watching their team next year. As long as Kyrie can bounce back from that torn Achilles and get healthy, torn ACL, that's what he had. The torn Achilles is Jason Tatum. If he can come back from it, I'm thinking that this is going to be this is going to be the right thing. I think this is going to be. I think they're going to be a scary team next year. I think they're going to be a really intimidating team next year. Okay, Kyrie did tear his ACL. I was right originally. I just wanted to make sure I was right originally. I don't want to be throwing wrong facts at you guys. I just want to make sure I was 100% right there. Next in the draft, the Spurs took Dylan Harper. I've heard many good things about this kid. The Sixers, in the spirit of Philly. Now, like I said, with my sports teams, I've made my stance clear on some of my former episodes. You want to go find those footage of where I stand there. But the Sixers here, Philly, they picked VJ Edgecombe. I'm going to butcher names. I'll be 100% honest, I'm going to butcher names. The Hornets, they select someone named Canoopel. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Basketball players and football players, where do you guys come up with your names? Let me go on my little tangent here. Where do you come up with your names? Where? Some of these guys, Forsyth. His name looks like Frosty the Snowman to me. I'm going to be honest. Some of these guys, their names, they're crazy. I'm not insulting anybody because I love it. I love that you have a crazy name that I have to try to pronounce and can't, and just throw something crazy out there. One of my favorite players of all time for the Steelers, Troy Polamalu. What a name. You know how much of a struggle that was trying to say growing up? So, that's just my little side, quick tangent on names. Back to the draft, because this is where I'm going to go into a bit of a... I don't know if it's a hot take. I guess it depends on your viewpoint on these things. The Utah Jazz at number 5 take Ace Bailey. And Ace Bailey is creating a lot of bad drama for himself right out of the gate. Not only did he refuse to work out for a bunch of teams, and, you know, he turned down a dinner from the Sixers. He turned down a bunch of stuff from other teams. He didn't want to go to the private, you know, like workouts and stuff that all these guys do during the process of all this stuff. And then his agent and his team go out and tell NBA teams. They go out and tell grown men. And I don't mean like 20 to 30-year-old grown men like me. I mean like 50 to 80-year-old grown men not to pick somebody in the draft to make their team better. They actually have the audacity to go to these teams and say, don't do it. Don't do it. And the Utah Jazz, they said, excuse me? We are 100% picking this kid. I don't give a rat's ass how he feels. So the Utah Jazz, they picked this kid anyway. And his face, which I will put up here, definitely, while I'm looking up something else real fast. I just want to get something accurate real quick. While he's getting the moment of his life, he's getting drafted into the NBA. I don't care who he's getting picked by. I don't care who he picks. I don't care if it was, I don't care who picked him. I mean, I know the Utah Jazz, probably one of the worst teams to have picked him. But he looks just disgruntled. I'm going to put it up here. He just looks miserable in every picture of the fact that, and you could tell right away that he was not excited about this. You have other kids there, even kids who are like into the second or third round, who just look, who are in tears. They're crying. Hassan Yang, he came out of the stands. He wasn't even expecting to be drafted in the first round. He was sitting up in the stands. He came from like the stands area. He wasn't even sitting in like the little luxury booth area where all the other, top prospects get to sit with all their camps and families and all that. And this kid goes up there and it just looks miserable. And then the Raptors draft a kid by the name of Colin Murray Boyles. And him and his girlfriend, his girlfriend, she looks a little emotional, and he just drops an F-bomb and looks a little disgruntled. Now, that's been walked back to say that he was just really relieved that he finally got picked and that this long journey is over and then he gets to settle into an NBA team, which is the way that I think all these guys should be looking at this moment. However, everybody kind of handles it their own way, dropping an F-bomb and shaking your head like that. It's his way of getting it out. Maybe he's not a crier or, anything like that, and that's fine. Everybody has their own way of getting it out. However, Ace Bailey, this kid, now his team has been trying to walk it back. His agency and his team is now trying to walk back and say, whoa. He is super excited and thrilled to be coming here to the Utah Jazz. It's kind of too late. The damage is done. Like we already saw you in your reaction. Like we don't need anybody to say anything else now. It's all already been said and your reaction gave us everything we needed to see. This brings me to one of my takes that I don't think necessarily too many people will agree with me on, but I want to hear where you come from on it too. And if you can just hear my stance on this, I think that some of these NIL deals and the other stuff that these kids get in college is starting to ruin their psyche and their gratefulness for the next level. So if you're going to be a college player and I'm going to make, a couple $1 million, and if I set myself up right, if I'm smart about it, now this kid's only 18, all right? So whoever's around him, let's start there too. Before I get into another thing, let's start there too. Whoever's around this 18-year-old kid giving him advice, you suck. Go away from him and give him better people. You should be in his ear going, yo, dude, you just got drafted NBA. Like, let's go. Like, feel motivated, like motivating him, not agreeing with him and saying, oh, man, that's who picked you? Like, that's where you got to go? No, it should be, you should be fired up. You should be pumped. Like, this is a big moment. So, I think that the NIL deals and all the stuff that those kids get, all that money, it's kind of ruining what they expect coming from the next level. Like, as a rookie, your job is not to come in and be a diva. Absolutely not. It's not to come in and make demands. It's not to come in and be a hothead and tell this team what they're going to do and tell that team what they're going to do. And that's not how that works. Your job is to come in, prove yourself as a rookie. And if you're on a bad team, be the best on that bad team and you will shine above the rest. If you're good on bad, everybody else around you sucks and you're lighting it up, you ain't going to be there for very long. Nobody said you had to sign the long-term contract. You just have to get your foot in the door. You got to get in and get your feet wet and prove that you are that same guy that you were in college. Because this isn't college. Now you're playing against grown men who've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, it's a young man's league, but there's still some of the older guys and guys who've been playing for a long time. So your job is to come in here and prove yourself, and then you can make demands on where you go. I don't think that the money they make is terrible, because you are risking your life even playing these sports at a college level, that you could tear something or take a wrong hit, or anything could happen that could change your life at any minute. But making millions of dollars, I don't think that that's quite necessary to college level. Maybe a couple hundreds of thousands of dollars is okay and acceptable, but millions for some of these guys? They're already set, man. If they set up their money right, put some investments in the right area, buy some of the right things at the right time, you're already set for life, man. Like, you don't really have to go out and do this stuff anymore. So I don't feel like they have the same motivation to go prove it. If he's already made a couple mil from college, I mean, I know money in, money out. You spending it, you got to remake it. But again, if you set yourself up well enough, he could do something like this, jump on podcasts and make money doing this now, or something like that, because he's got a good structure behind him already. So you got to really find the guys who love the game. I think that's a struggle nowadays, and you really got to find guys who want to play for the love of the game. I mean, money obviously too, because money drives all of us. We all wake up in the morning and we go to work to make money because we need it, whether we want it or not. Can't take it with you in the next life, but in this one, you sure need it to buy a lot of stuff. So, just real quick, the Lakers, our Lakers, because of our LeBron James, they grabbed Adu Thero. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm very good at pronouncing names. They made multiple aggressive trades to move up within the second round because they were targeting this guy. He's a slasher. He's got a jacked frame, an explosive first step. He logged last season 45 dunks and had 6 games with 10 or more free throws. He lives in the paint, and that is exactly what this team needs in the Lakers. They need somebody who lives in the paint, and this guy looks perfect. Perfect. I'm going to pop up and look up some highlights so that I can get a better idea what this kid looks like, but I'm excited just reading this little article and seeing that he looks like the exact defensive player / offensive player that they needed. A great two-way in the middle, down there in the paint. After losing AD, let's get it right. Let's get it right, Lakers. We need that trophy next year. Also, the NHL Draft happened. Hockey. A little hockey. The Flyers, 2 picks in the first round, we picked up with pick number 6, Porter Matone, right wing. This kid looks exciting. His last season in college, in the OHL, he had 57 games, 37 goals, 61 assists, 98 points. Just a big, intimidating forward. Dual threat. Can create his own shot. He can facilitate. He's looking to be the leader of the second wing. He's looking to be the leader in the wing and the second line. Maybe creep his way to the first. Although with the Flyers, I would love to see Owen Tippett creep up to line 1 or 2, which means this kid would maybe have to drop down to line 3. I don't know. I don't know what they do here, but I love his aura. I love his aura of competitiveness. Big physical player. I did see a little bit of footage of this kid. Flyers fans, let's get excited because we needed this. We needed a big forward to bully his way around and lay it on thick. They had another pick in the first round. They go up. They trade with the Penguins, oddly enough, to go up a little bit to grab center Jack Nesbitt. And he's more of an intelligent two-way center. He's a real competitive guy. He's got real good off-the-puck hockey IQ. So knowing where to get on the ice, important. Knowing, I got to get here. Let me get here. Let me facilitate the puck here. His year last year in the OHL, 65 games, 25 goals, 39 assists, 64 points. Also, a very nice performance last year. He is, he's a very high floor player, and we'll see where he shapes out. He's probably going to fall to about line 3, maybe lead line 4. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how they work it out with the next, couple of off-season weeks. But I think that this is another great pickup. I said this when we talked about it a couple weeks ago on the show. This was going to be a big moment for the Flyers. Now, I would have loved for them to have gone out and found a really great goalie, but we're not quite there just yet. We still have time before any moves, more moves will be made there. But this is a great start. I mean, this is excellent. To get some pieces to build up those lines, to just really reinforce. I think if you just let some of these young guys go. Just put some of these young guys together. I mentioned this in the show before, and let them just go. And this Flyers team, I think, they will continue to grow and grow and grow. They just need good goaltending behind the young kids while they learn to play together. And this sky's the limit. The ceiling, we can break through it. So let's go, Flyers. What a season. Real quick shout out. Hopefully I can grab this clip and throw it up here real quick. This is awesome. The Boston Bruins had one of my favorite characters of all time, one of anybody's favorite characters of all time. Happy Gilmore announced the Boston Bruins picking James Higgins. I'll hopefully throw
Proud to be part of the 2025 NHL Draft. The Boston Bruins select from Boston College. James Higgins,
What a cool moment. Seriously, what a cool moment. Move on a little bit to the NFL, which I said last week I would dive a little more into it. And I dove a little bit into it throughout the week. But again, we're moving into training camp, but we're not quite there yet. And, we're just real quick. I saw Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. I listened to a lot of his interview earlier. It feels really good to listen to him talk about some of the things he's saying, because it's not really what I expected out of Aaron Rodgers at all. To listen to him talk about how he wants to be a leader for Will Howard and he wants to get him set up to be the guy when he leaves. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's awesome, because Will Howard is going to be the guy here, I think. I think he is. I think that was a great pick by the Steelers, a great sleeper pick. National champion. He learns behind Aaron. He learns behind Mason. Guys, I think the Steelers might be in good hands. Let's see what this season brings, but I think we're in good hands. Rodgers mentioned that this might be his last rodeo this year. Now, we'll see how the season shapes out. But you know what? Play your heart out, Rodgers. Give it all you got, man. Every last gasp of football breath you got left, put it into everything this season. And let's bring home the 7th trophy for the Steelers. Let's bring home your second Super Bowl title and send you off into the Hall of Fame the right way. Let's go. I want to make mention of this real quick, because this is closely related to the Steelers, because it is it is the Ravens. And this is kind of one of the only other stories kicking around the NFL world too, is Justin Tucker suspended for 10 weeks the first 10 weeks of the season for violating the league's misconduct. Now, he was released by the Ravens, so he's not, anywhere that's going to affect, as far as I know, just yet. He was accused of inappropriate behavior by 16 massage therapists from 8 different spas and wellness centers. So this brings us to the question, real quick here, of what is with NFL players in massage therapy? What? I will never understand when you make a lot of money. I saw Shedeur Sanders also. I know I'm a little behind on this one, but the other weekend he got pulled over doing 101 in like a 50. When you make a lot of money, you have ways and means of being able to go do certain activities that are, we're not going to say illegal. I don't even want to say frowned upon, because you could do them in a more legal or right way. But yet these guys opt to take their money and do stupid things. Let me go buy a ridiculously fast car and drive 700 miles an hour and crash and kill people and then end up in jail and ruin my career. Henry Ruggs III. Or why don't, I do this like I'm Shedeur Sanders and I'm trying to ruin my career. Like, I understand as a young man wanting to go fast. I had my moment in the sun. I got pulled over for doing 90 in a 55. Now, mine was a little bit different because I was not like in a residential area. I was on a highway. It was a work zone. It was late at night. It was kind of a different story, but it was not, I'm not trying to say that like it was right. I'm just saying sometimes scenario matters, but I don't understand why these guys have to go to professional massage therapists, like professional ones. Guys, I'll be 100% honest with you, because there's honestly plenty of them near me. If you want to rub and tug, you can find it. And there ain't nobody who's gonna sue you, complain about you later on. They're trying to take advantage of people who don't want to do that. Why? You know what I mean? Like, why? You have all the money in the world to go to like I just said, like a rub and tug place where you get a nice happy ending with your massage, and do it conspicuously, and nobody will be the wiser. Nobody will really know why you chose this one or this or that. And even if they do, you're an adult. So, as long as nobody's getting hurt in that scenario, it's fine. But you go to these ones, and why? Like, why? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it one day. We'll see who the next NFL player is that comes out that's been trying to take advantage of massage therapists. That's 2 now in the span of 3 seasons. That's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. To wrap up the show, so since I started working with a little bit more video, I'm gonna pick out a sports highlight from a sport, whether it be an Ocho sport or a real sport, or I hate to say real sport, like the sports on the Ocho aren't sports, but you know what I mean. They're like secondary sports to our main sports. But I'm just gonna grab a highlight from somewhere, and we're just gonna watch it, enjoy it, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Oh, there it is. The first ever home run in the AUSL. It's a rookie, Sierra Sacco out of Mississippi State. Welcome to the pros.
First pro at bat. And she hits a home run. This is unbelievable. Sierra Sacco from the 9-hole, fresh off of her season at Mississippi State, where she became a home run hitter this year. She was a
boom, and the first home run hit in the AUSL Softball League. What a moment. What a moment for women's sports. What a moment for women's softball. May the league continue to flourish. May the league continue to get more confident, awesome women to lead it and show these little girls that there's something wholesome you can shoot for out there. That'll do it for the show this week. Thank you again so much for joining me. As I mentioned earlier on the show, next week's show is going to be a little bit different. I will not be in my normal environment here. We'll be on location on my family vacation, Chincoteague Island. I don't quite know what the setup is going to look like yet, but we'll see when we get there. It'll be an exciting show, but leave a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Give me all your thoughts, all your opinions down in the comments below. Let me know whether you think I'm a real fanatic or I'm just plain crazy. See ya.